Playoff basketball is in the air in Minnesota section tournament time on this Wednesday night. Starting with Champlin Park and Osseo. Alongside Steve Thompson, I'm Jason Doro. Thrilled to be with you. Two teams that are both at least trending upward at the end of the season. Champlin Park has won 8 of their last 10, and Osseo, who is below 500 on the year, has taken 3 of their last 6. Starting lineups underway here. As you can see, Osseo will be clad in their road white. Champlin Park in the home navy uniforms. And now a look at your Osseo starters, headed by Josh Ola-Joseph. He's averaging 13 points per game. In his last 5 outings, he's actually right around 20 per contest.
Yeah, and it is, as we pointed out at the top, Jason, a young team, just one senior among the starters, 3 sophomores and a junior. And Tim Tyson is looking for progress out of this group, and they have a chance to pull the upset. There are a lot of talent, but in a conference like the Northwest Suburban, you know, you're going to be tested more times than not. So these kids have had to grow up fast, and they're going to be very dangerous in the conference moving forward and in this section moving forward.
And Tim Tyson is a guy who's seen it all, now in his 18th season as the head coach at Osseo. Now a look at Champlin Park, who comes in 17-9. They finished second in the North Division of the Northwest Suburban Conference. And they have more experience in their starting lineup this evening, including 3 seniors and 2 juniors.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it that Jared Walter, Cooper Olson, Devin Moore bring a lot of experience off the bench or into the starting lineup, and they have a lot of experience coming off the bench as well. And Francis Wakoria, all these guys, because Champlin Park has had such good teams, generally juniors and seniors are the only ones that get playing time. Mm-hmm. So Champlin Park has a lot of depth. One of the other storylines going in is that head coach Mark Tucksher not available for duty tonight.
Yeah, Mark Tucksher is battling some kind of flu or virus, so he's not here. And your head coach tonight is assistant Matt Holtz.
And he's been around the program for a long time, so it's not like he's a new guy as well. There's been a lot of stability with this staff, and they're going to be just fine, and they want Mark Tucksher 100% if they get by tonight.
The Orioles win the tip. A chance for Ola-Joseph right out the gate. And he picks up right where he left off, averaging 19 points per game over his last 5 outings, and he has the first bucket this evening.
Yeah, and it'll be very interesting to see if they're able to get it inside on Wakoria.
Strong, a step back 3 in the corner. It's off the front of the iron, and the rebound to Osseo. Tyrese Waits crosses over, one of those 3 sophomores in the starting lineup. A little runner comes up short, and Jared Walter reels in the board.
Yeah, the Rebels are so experienced and so physical inside, and for the young Orioles team to match that physicality all night tonight is going to be a challenge. These teams met once during the regular season. Rebels got the better of it.
In that win for Champlin Park, Francis Wakoria had 17 points, 6 rebounds, and you see him going to work here. He's headed to the charity stripe for 2 here after drawing a foul inside.
In that wild 98-90 win over Spring Lake Park that I alluded to in the open, Jays, and he dominated inside. The Panthers had no answer whatsoever. And the key for Wakoria, stay out of foul trouble, and he'll have a big night.
The 6'7" junior forward at the line where he misses the first of the pair. In that Spring Lake Park game, Wakoria posted 25 points, 14 rebounds, his 9th double-double of the season.
And he is one of those guys that continues to get better and better and better, and he is just a junior. He going into next season will be, you know, one of the guys to watch in this Northwest Suburban. He just is outstanding down low, very good footwork.
And he wasn't necessarily on the radar of a lot of colleges early, but now he's getting more and more attention.
And he stays out of foul trouble in general.
A great take by Tariq Henry, the lone senior in the starting lineup for Osseo. He scores to make it a 3-point Oriole advantage. Henry's scoring 9 per game. coming off a 15-point performance, his season high. Second foul of the half coming up here against Osseo. A little hand check as Cooper Olson tried to drive the baseline. Entry pass to Devon Moore, but he's stuffed at the rim. The Orioles want to run in transition. Bernard Omaria for three. And Osseo has opened up a 6-point lead.
Yeah, and the Rebels, coming into this, know that they beat Osseo one time, but this is one and done time. You can't afford to dig a huge hole.
Wacoria double teamed and he floats it out of bounds. Last touched by Champlin Park.
It all depends on how the officials call the game on Wacoria. In that spot, they were very physical against Wacoria, didn't call a foul. And that's a big time storyline as well. If they're able to bang on Wacoria a little bit down low, it's going to make it a lot tougher on him.
It's a pretty small lineup for Osseo, too. They didn't have anyone above 6'4" in their starting five, and Wacoria is 6'7", a very strong 6'7", so they have to double or triple team if he catches inside 5 feet. That last foul, by the way, called on Josh Strong, the first team foul on Champlin Park.
And it felt a little ticky-tack, that it's kind of like on the perimeter like that, it really wasn't a big deal.
Olson got his hand on the basketball, and now an interception for Jared Walter. He'll bounce ahead for Olson, who attacks and scores at the 10. Olson is a University of Mary commit, so he'll be headed up to Bismarck to play D2 basketball next year. Second on the team in scoring this season. On the other end, an and one for Tariq Henry. He's got 4 of Osseo's 9.
And I really like the way Osseo started this game. They are very aggressive, taking it right at Champlin Park. They're playing with house money. They're the lower seed. Champlin Park's the number 3. Champlin Park's expected to win at home. Why not come in and just go after it?
And this is unfamiliar territory for Osseo. We mentioned in the open that both of these teams are used to making it to the section championship game at least, since they've accounted for 9 of the last 11 section titles. Osseo, as the 6th seed in Section 5, is in uncharted territory. Walter testing the baseline. He'll spin it right back out. Now Olson, and he'll draw a blocking foul called on Omaria.
Yeah, third of the game there. And the thing that I think Champlin Park, one of the things that maybe has caused concern in talking to Mark Tuckshaw this year is that at times they don't have great confidence in their outside shooting. So you can see Osseo playing a 2-3 zone, daring the Rebels to shoot it from outside. They just throughout the course of the year haven't shown a lot of confidence on the perimeter.
Yeah, it's a team that wants to get out and run, score in transition.
Yep.
And if they're stuck in the half court, they're feeding Wacoria as we get a foul away from the ball. It appears to be the 4th team foul against Osseo.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, they've called the game tight in spots, and they've let some things go in spots. So far it's been a hard one to figure out, and I think we're seeing that out of the players right now. They're not sure how this crew's going to call this game.
Devon Moore lost the handle, and the ball trickled out of bounds, but they're saying that the Orioles got a hand on it, so we'll keep it on this end. That last foul, by the way, on Tariq Henry, his first personal. So they'll let Josh Strong head up the point now, with Moore floating to the corner. Wacoria dumps it to the baseline. A rejection on the layup for Olson. Osseo is really packing it in to defend the hoop. Almost 4 minutes gone. A straightaway 3 comes up short. Not enough muscle from Omaria. Strong sets up the offense again. Bounce feed for Wacoria. He won't be denied this time. Francis Wakoria missed 6 games in December and January for a trip to Africa, but he's been on top of his game since returning, and he scored 47 points in the last 2 games for the Rebels. Maria from the top of the key picks up his dribble and slings it cross court. Strong extending the defense. A wild pass. And Wakoria comes away with it. Champlin Park in transition. Vaughn Moore misses the lefty lay-in.
Yeah, and that's a tough break because he just got a little bit too far under the bucket. You see it. And it was an awkward shot that he wasn't able to hit.
The pull-up jumper from Maria is good. He's got 5. Henry's got 5. And Osseo leads by 7.
That is their big lead in the game.
Long 3 on the way from Strong. It hits off the heel. A battle for the board. And a whistle coming against the Orioles. They've already collected 5 team fouls. Just over 5 minutes in.
Yeah, and right now the Orioles are just daring the Rebels to shoot from the perimeter like that. And it's important for Champlin Park to open up the floor a little bit and start making those perimeter shots.
That foul on Lewis Cargore, a sophomore forward, 6'4". Vaughn Moore, a shifty move for the and one. Moore really used his body well. He got a step and then jumped right back into the defender. Count the bucket.
Yeah, you could feel that defender on his shoulder and is like, why not get the shot away and take the contact? And that shows maybe the inexperience of Waits in picking up the foul there.
So every Oriole on the floor now has 1 personal foul. The team has 6. And Champlin Park can go into the bonus for 12-plus minutes. Nygaard hesitating at the top of the key as he's hounded by TJ Moberg. Pass to the corner for Henry. And Wakoria is going to pick up a personal as he reached in against Josh Ola-Joseph.
Yeah, and once again, that's a foul on the perimeter where it's kind of like, is that really a foul? They've allowed the bang. I don't know, and that's a tough foul on Wakoria, and he's a guy they can't afford to get into foul trouble. And once again, he's been very disciplined on that front this year for the Champlin Park Rebels. I just don't know about that. They're getting after each other down low, but on the perimeter like that, I just don't know how that changed the play in any way.
That pass goes straight through the wickets of Connor Nygaard. Champlin Park takes possession back. After the Rebels seemed out of sorts for the first couple minutes of this game, Steve, it looks like they've regained their bearings.
Yeah, and I think that comes from being able to go to the bench and bring in guys like TJ Moberg, who had a huge game against Spring Lake Park in the regular season finale. It was senior night. He got the start and played great.
Dom Witt from the corner for 3, and he cashes out. A football star at wide receiver. The senior nails that triple, and we're down to a 2-point contest.
Well, they need that. That's going to loosen up and make room for Wakoria down low. They need to find a player or two that's willing to make from the perimeter.
On the other end, a blown layup from Henry. The Rebels have a chance to run. Moberg pumping the brakes. Gets to the rim, no whistle. Henry will walk it up for Osseo. Maria for 3. Clangs off, and Dom Witt snares the board. Dom Witt is a great example of the players on Champlin Park that had to step up this year, as we see Josh Strong miss with the left hand. But the Rebels lost 2/3 of their scoring from last year, as we see Tariq Henry take it to the rim and score. Osseo ends their scoring drought. To get back to that point, though, Steve, Dom Witt scored just 6 points last season. He's averaging 6 per game this year. And there are players up and down this Champlin Park roster who only scored a handful of points last season, and now they're key contributors. Moberg for three. Yes.
And Moberg, continues that confidence from the regular season finale. Witt came off the bench, made a corner three. Now you got Moberg on top. That's what the Rebels bring to the table. They got guys that really get after it. They have a ton of experience. They've been in the program for years. And these guys, want to prove, hey, we want more minutes.
And Champlin Park has a lot of gritty, strong guys. Earlier in the season, Mark Tucksher told me that he was missing almost half the team on the season opening night because they played in the Prep Bowl the night before. So many of the football players were busy in that football state championship against Wayzata that they couldn't play in the season opening basketball game, as you see Moberg connect on that triple.
Yeah, so he's really on a roll right now, and Moberg giving this team a lift off the bench. And they can bring in guys with experience. Ethan Renz on the floor right now. A.J. Metzger, another senior.
James Spencer had a look there, was denied, and then Osseo was out of bounds. Owen Dukowitz recollected the basketball, but he hadn't established himself back in play, so it's Champlin Park possession.
Dylan Gachaba, junior, on the floor for the Rebels right now. And he's another guy that can get it done as well. Good rebounder.
Witt using the left hand, had it swatted away, but he was hacked too.
Yeah, now the Rebels go into the bonus right now and really have a chance to make Osseo pay, and they have 3 fouls to give before the Orioles would be in the bonus.
First free throw from Witt, bounces around and drops. He's coming off an 8.5 rebound performance in that season closing victory against Spring Lake Park last Friday right here at the Fieldhouse. Champlin Park had strung together 7 consecutive wins, but they dropped back-to-back games before winning that regular season finale.
By the way, 10-2 run for the Rebels. They were down by 7. Now they're up by 1.
Yeah, a flurry for the Rebels after falling behind in the first couple minutes here. James Spencer found some real estate. Not a great pass from Dukowitz, and the Orioles kick it back out. Of the 5 players on the court right now for Osseo, they only have 5 points in this game. O'Maria is the only one that scored of the current Oriole 5. Tyrese waits, kicks it to the corner, gets it back on the right wing. Feed for Spencer. Who's it off of? Spencer touched it last.
Yeah, Gachaba was down on the deck. I thought it went out of bounds off him, but they ruled the other way. But they really get after it one-on-one. I mean, there is no doubt they really get after it. They rarely go to the zone. They want to challenge the ball, and you can see as the game goes on, they like to trap the ball as well on the perimeter.
And Spencer went running off the court, gripping his forearm. Looked like he was in some pretty serious pain. Witt triggers the 3, clangs out. Rebound brought down by Hassan Kamara, who's fouled immediately.
Yeah, Renz got in there a little late and took the foul. That'll be number 4 on him. We're going to take a look at how Spencer got injured. May have been like a hyperextended elbow as they look at him behind the Orioles bench. Yeah, we'll get it next break. But, looking at that elbow, and if it gets hyperextended, that hurts. Or maybe he's trying to shake out his hand.
Hopefully it's nothing too serious for James Spencer, who's one of the better interior presences for Osseo, as that one goes right off the hands of Kamara and out of bounds.
And for Kamara, a sophomore, that's one of those trying to do a little too much. First catch the ball, then make your move to the hole. And once again, this team, they've got a lot of athleticism. They can get up and down the floor. But once again, they're playing against a veteran group in Champlin Park who are going to challenge you every time you touch the ball.
And now we get the replay of Spencer trying to pull the basketball away from Gachaba. And can you tell exactly what happened there, Steve?
Hard to tell. Just fighting for the ball. Maybe injured his wrist a little bit. Front end no good, by the way.
Yeah, Gachaba misses on the first of the 1-and-1 opportunity. Osseo has 8 team fouls now, but nobody's in serious foul trouble. They just have a bunch of players with 1 personal. Waits with a crossover, and he's called for a carry. TJ Moberg is putting the clamps on whoever he's defending.
Yeah, he is just playing so well at the end of the season, and let's face it, a senior, this is it. You play on senior night, he played really, really well against Spring Lake Park, and now here it is in the postseason. It's one and done. This is it.
Yeah, Moberg had 18 points in that regular season finale. It's the second time he's posted that number, which is a season high for him.
Moberg's going to go to the line. Here's another foul on the perimeter where it's kind of like, you know, is it a foul? Let it go. He wasn't in the act of shooting. Didn't really change the play. That's kind of where I come from when I watch the game. You know, did that foul or that bump change the play dramatically? And in that case, I don't think it altered the play in any way.
Nonetheless, Moberg at the line where he sinks the first. He's got 4 points in this one now as Champlin Park eyes a quarterfinal victory. The winner of this one moves on to the semifinals next Tuesday at Coon Rapids. And they'll play the victor between Spring Lake Park and Roseville. So you have a potential rematch between Spring Lake Park and these Rebels.
And Spring Lake Park's a really good matchup for Champlin Park if they're able to get by tonight. Because both teams are athletic, really get after it. And as we saw, Champlin Park won that wild one in the finale, 98-90. So Champlin Park's really got to like the way things are falling for him here.
Maria got bumped from behind as he penetrated. They ruled a foul on the ground. The 5th team foul on Champlin Park and the first on A.J. Messenger.
In the NBA, that's an and one.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. Here comes Dom Witt, a 2-on-1, rips it through, and then finishes with the right hand. A mini Euro step, if you will. 7 points for Witt.
14-2 Rebel run from down 7 to up 5.
On the baseline, it was Waits. The Orioles get it back. The Champlin Park student section getting into it along the baseline. Long mid-range 2. Drained by Donald Ferguson. His first bucket of the night.
Huge bucket for the Orioles. They needed to stem the tide.
Maybe a momentum shift now. Maria with the spinorama. And then he was cut off by Ethan Renz.